All right, public sector unions calling for an improved wage increase from government by today. Fedusa and Sadtu say they've secured a 7% increase, but is that good enough? Well, let's speak to Fedusa General Secretary Riefdah Ajam joining us this morning. Riefdah, good morning, and thank you for your time. So 7%, it's not bad, but not good enough. Why is that?
Absolutely. Well, at this stage, Gareth, good morning to you and to your listeners. Thank you for the opportunity. We have asked government to go and review their offer in order to offset the ravages of inflation and to make sure ultimately that we are able to uphold the mandate that has been given to us by our members. Ultimately, from the start of the demands, we have now moved from 10% and a downward revision, and we are looking at 8%. We are hoping that the employer as government would be able to take all these factors into account, and it is our hope that today they will be coming back to the chambers with an improved offer.
And what's the timeline for something like this? Because many people are obviously very familiar with the Nahawu strike, where demands of 10% were made, timelines were put into place. We've seen other unions now climbing in as support on that. What's the timeline for Fedusa?
Well, the timeline for Fedusa and the timeline that has been agreed to within the chamber is that we would want to finish and conclude the negotiations before month end, that would be 31 March. And to equally just emphasize, Gareth, that it has been the Fedusa unions alongside Sadtu that have upheld and have continued with the negotiations. The others have voluntarily decided that they will not be participating.
I see in the statement that I've received from Fedusa and also Sadtu, I believe this is a joint media statement. Help me understand this, what the concern is. And I'm quoting, a meeting that was held expressed grave concern that the media was deliberately distorting facts. I understand this has got to do with the 2023-2024 negotiations versus the 2022-2023 dispute. What's the issue with the media?
Absolutely, Gareth, there is a deliberate distortion of the facts at this stage. The parties that have decided not to participate in the negotiations have sought political intervention, whereas the bloc, Fedusa and Sadtu, have continued with the negotiations, focusing instead on the 2023-2024 outcome instead of pursuing the dispute of 2022-2023. The minister in the presidency had equally issued a statement which was completely devoid from the truth, and we want to emphasize that as the bloc that continue to move with this matter, we are confident, we are hopeful that the cost of living and these spiral ravages will be taken into account in order for us to secure an improved offer beyond the 7% to which government has been given the clearest indication that we are seeking an improvement.
And this almost goes in contradiction, doesn't it, to what the minister in the presidency, Kumbotso Njaveni, had to say when coming out and suggesting in a press conference that the majority of public sector unions had agreed to this. Are you telling me this morning that is not the case?
It is not the case, Gareth. It is not factual, and it is a deliberate distortion. The Fedusa unions, along with Sadtu, have not sought political intervention. We have not been underhanded in terms of the tactics. We have continued to pursue a mandate given to us by our members that says focus on the negotiations for the current year. Do not continue to pursue the dispute of 2022-2023. And to attempt to sneak into the discussions is a sign of the highest level of disrespect towards the members when you are continuing to fuel a narrative that says you are out there to advance issues, yet you sought political intervention at the highest level. So for the media and for the minister in particular to perpetuate a narrative of lies is completely disingenuous and disrespectful to the majority of South Africans when we all know well what had happened last week. Running the issue on your screen right now, we are here to deliver a service to the public, and by capturing and by discrediting that is something that we distance ourselves from completely as Fedusa and as Sadtu.
I would like to end the discussion, Riefdah, if you don't mind. I'm sure you would expect me to ask this question. What is Fedusa's view on the planned national shutdown on Monday? Are you going to be part of it? Are you in support of it? Are you against it?
Fedusa members have spoken clearly. We will not be participating in the coming strike action on Monday and the national shutdown, albeit the fact that we respect the right to participate in the process, considering that it is a parallel one that is being run. So for now, the mandate that has been given by Fedusa, NEC, by our members, is that we will not be participating.
Well, I appreciate you coming on to clarify the issue around the wage negotiations, saying that it is disingenuous of government to come out and say that a final offer has been accepted by unions. Fedusa very clear this morning with their General Secretary, Riefdah Ajam, joining us, saying it is disingenuous and misleading by the government and some media to be reporting that that offer is final. Not only final, but also accepted. And I had to ask, of course, about Fedusa's position for the upcoming planned national shutdown.